Narayana. Hari Om and good evening from Tampa. The first quarter of Hanuman Chalisa. What is it? Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja. The last quarter of Hanuman Chalisa. Hridaya Basau Sura Bhoop. The first quarter of Hanuman Chalisa is focusing on Guru. And the last quarter of Hanuman Chalisa is focusing on God. When one is introduced to their Guru, God is most near. It's a matter of sincerity before one begins to see that divinity within them. For all of us, we have been introduced to our Acharya, Acharya Shankara. And this is our Guru, and with him in our lives, we are near Atma. We are studying Atma Bodha because of Acharya Shankara. If there was no Acharya Shankara, we would not know the purpose, we would not know the path, we would not know the person. We are slowly completing our course. And Acharya Shankara is doing the same with the text. Are you feeling closer to yourself? Acharya Shankara is actually teaching Tattva Bodha, but he's taken Tattva Bodha and turned this into poetry. Tattva Bodha is a technical text. And we're already lost in technicalities with technology, with cars, with investing, and so on and so forth. When we study shastras that are technical, perhaps we're desensitized to them. They don't go as deeply into our hearts. Do you agree? Acharya Shankara must have felt the same, which is why he took the same subject, but again, moved this through poetry. This almost reminds me of Sama Veda. We have some Vedas that are written in prose, some Vedas that are written in poetry. They are the same content, but your relationship with the content is different. And this is why Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, out of all of the Vedas, I am Sama Veda. We are studying a most lovely text to realize how lovely life is, to realize how lovely we are. In Shloka 52, Acharya Shankara is talking about how someone who knows what they're not and what they are, then that person has let go of unnecessary weight. In Ramayana, Vibhishana is speaking to Hanumanji about this body being tamasic. The nature of this body is inertia. The breath is rajasic. The mind intellect is sattvic, is calm by nature. The more I identify with the body, the more tamasic I become, correct? And the less I identify with the body, the less tamasic I become. Our sutra for Shloka 52, reflecting is relieving. Reflecting is relieving. You relieve the weight of what you're not. You feel the lightness of what you are. In Shloka 53, Acharya Shankara used analogies of when water is mixed with water, there's only water. When space is mixed with space, there's only space. When this ego knows the truth, there is no more separation. There is only the truth. You become one with what you are studying. This is a subjective science. In objective sciences, you don't become what you're studying. Do you become economics? Do you become pharmaceuticals? Do you become engineering? But here, Atma Bodha, you re-become Atma. You are Atma. You re-become this. Our sutra is, surrender makes one strong. Surrender makes one strong. We are surrendering the weakness, which allows us to hold on to the strength. In Shloka 54, Acharya Shankara is bringing in the absolute nature of Brahman, that once you feel this divinity, you don't need any more feelings. You don't need to gain anything. You don't need any different changes in circumstances. There's no more you need to know. In 54, we have to begin to feel this divinity. We have to begin to see God within ourselves first, and then we will begin to see that godliness outside. If you see God outside first and not within, then one has not followed the right path. That feeling will be broken. In the rare time that I teach contemplation, and I choose not to teach contemplation because I don't want to dilute contemplation, and rarely is someone ready for this. After that contemplation period, some people will come to me and say, I couldn't control my body, but I could control my mind. That's not true at all. It is much easier to control the external than the internal. They have misunderstood what control is, what discipline is. They're tricking themselves. You will see God in yourself first, and then you will see God in others. The Sutra for 54, the pursuit has an end. The pursuit has an end. This is a great sutra, perhaps my favorite. Many of the Devis have participated with me in a workshop where we go through a controlled death, where you slowly have to let go of articles, circumstances, and beings in your life as you go through this controlled death. And the first time I had practiced this, and I've only practiced this once, the rest of the times I've been facilitating this, the last circumstance that I had to let go of, and you do have to let go of all, was moksha. And it was so hard. There was almost a slow motion feeling of I have moksha in my hand and I have to tear it up or put it aside. Imagine you couldn't be absolutely free. Imagine there was no liberation. Every moment would be a waste. Every moment would be so weighty. This pursuit has an end. As soon as we go fully through the Bodha to the Atma, we will be happy once and for all. And finally, in our review, this is a similar shloka to 54. Acharya Shankara is saying, you don't need to see anymore. You don't need to become anymore. You don't need to have this distinction of knower, knowing, known. We thought about this as, if we weren't born right now, what would we be? We would be. Isn't it? If we weren't born right now, we would be being. But since we're born, we're engaged in so many verbs. Speaking, thinking, driving, fighting, resoluting. I don't know if that's a verb, but you get my point. Correct? There's so much becoming. And Acharya Shankara said, Yad bhutva na punar bhavaha. No more becoming, only being. And our sutra for 55. Make truth, the the truth. Make truth the truth. I can't say that I'm living for truth when I actually don't live for truth. Then that's not truth. I'm living for the lie. We are studying the truth. Live like that. We move on to shloka 56 and 57. And this actually completes a section of Atma Bodha. Let's focus on 56. I'll tell you more with 57. As I chant this, I'll ask the people who are live not to repeat, because it really confuses me then. I've finally figured it out that sometimes when I get confused with the chanting, it's the people around me. It's never me. So now I'm just isolating the variable. So just quietly chant it in your head. I'm already poor at chanting. I don't need more distractions. Tiryag urdhvam madaf purnam. Tiryag urdhvam madaf purnam. Satchidanandam advayam. Satchidanandam advayam. Anantam nityamekam yat. Anantam nityamekam yat. Tad brahmetya vadharayet. Tad brahmetya vadharayet. Now we can all chant together. Tiryag urdhvam madaf purnam. Satchidanandam advayam. Anantam nityamekam yat. Tad brahmetya vadharayet. Tiryag means directions. Urdhva means above. Adaha means below. Purna means full. There is fullness everywhere. Okay, this is the literal meaning. This is the commentary also. I would like to interpret this differently. What is shared is already full, but I'm trying to make this more livable for us. Sometimes we can't rise to that philosophy, so it's not to pull the philosophy down, but it's to lift ourselves up. You've heard me use this word tiryag many, many, many times. What does tiryag mean? It means horizontal. And tiryag is another word for animals. Like a dog's head and heart and stomach and genital organ are all horizontal. They're all on the same plane. So here you can interpret tiryag as animals. Urdhvam, what's above animals? We'll be generous and say ourselves. Humans. I had once heard someone say that we have come from the monkeys, we've evolved from the monkeys, and the monkeys felt insulted. And adaha, those who are lower than the animals, we can say are plants and stones. So whether one is an animal or a human or a plant stone, all of this is purna. All of this is infinite. As long as we're looking at this superficially, none of them are the same. But if we stop the shallowness, all of them are the same. Satchidanandam advayam. They are existence, awareness, joy. Advayam, there is no differences. Advayam, there is no separation, there is no duality. This is the full meaning. We'll interpret this differently also to add more. To feel sat. Sat can be compared to tamas. It is impossible not to feel existence, correct? Can you deny your own existence? If you denied your existence, you're still existing, no? To feel chit, this is compared to rajas. More subtlety is needed to feel one's awareness, consciousness. And the most difficult is Ananda. And that is compared to Sattva. There's more subtlety that is needed to know one's nature is joy, Ananda. It is hard to deny our existence and awareness, but many of us are experts at denying happiness, isn't it? Consciously, unconsciously, requires a lot of subtlety, a lot of sattva. And the word advaya means, and beyond tamas, rajas, and sattva, that's the truth. Advayam, because tamas, rajas, sattva is still duality. It's still separation. Advayam means beyond all of this. Okay. Anantam nityam ekam yat. Yat means the one who is yat means you. And I'll tell you about you. We'll go backwards. Ekam is really the word eka. What does eka mean? One. But there's a deeper meaning to the word eka. Eti gacchati sarvatra. Eti means this, thisness. Gacchati, gone. Sarvatra, everywhere. All space, all time, all matter. So yat means you. You are there in the beginning. The word ekam is, what we infer from this is in the beginning. The nityam is like the continuum. You are there in the middle also. And then if you open up the word anantam, antaha means end. Antaha means no end, which means you're still there in the end. So you are the same as stones, plants, animals, humans. You are the same as tamas, rajas, sattva, and beyond. You are in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. Tat Brahma iti avadharayet. Do you feel this? Have you counted how many times Acharya Shankara has said this? He said this in Shloka 54, he said it in 55, and now he's saying it again. Are you feeling this infinitude? And he's given so many ways to look at this now. From species to gunas to periods of time. I told you he's taken this Tattva Bodha and brought it into poetry for us to feel this. Here is your sutra. Infinity is indivisible. Infinity is indivisible. I had read one article in a Mananam series book, and I can't remember the exact details. I believe the book was called Living in the Moment. I believe I taught this text in Washington, D.C. to our young adults back in the day. Back in the day, it was August 2013, actually. And this article said there's no such thing as the present. There's only the presence. The present is another way of cutting time. Past, present, future. Then we assign nanoseconds, gigaseconds, milliseconds, seconds, and on and on and on. And then we go upwards also. Eons, yugas, kalpas. But all there is the presence. That's where this sutra comes to life. Infinity is indivisible. If you're dividing, you've not understood the presence. The presence is existence, awareness. And knowing that is joy. I will give you time to ask questions if we're not feeling this fully yet. We will study one more shloka. I wanted to study 3, but traffic said no. Fine. Atad vyavritti rupena. Vyavritti rupena. Vedante lakshyate dvayam. Vedante lakshyate dvayam. Akhandanandamekam yat. Akhandanandamekam yat. Tad brahmetyavadharayet. Tad brahmetyavadharayet. Together. Atadvyavrittirupena Vedante lakshyate dvayam akhandanandamekam yat tad brahmetyavadharayet. Acharya Shankara says, Atat vyavritti rupena. Rupena here means by the process, by the methodology. Vyavritti, this is a special philosophical process where one comes to know atat. One is not this. Tat means this, atat means not this. Technicalities are being shared here. I'll try to simplify. What was the name of the recent Marvel movie that came out? Black Panther, correct? What is the upcoming Marvel movie that everyone is looking forward to? Black Panther 2. Infinity War. Infinity War is where you have a character and then you have the whole Marvel universe, including the Black Panther, that has to fight this character who has this infinity stones and so on and so forth. Marvel and I were talking, Stanley and I were talking about this the other day, so. In this movie, The Infinity War, all of the Marvel heroes, heroines. I'm going to pause there and talk about some dharma. In the Olympics, they have males who tend to compete against males and females who tend to compete against females because there's a tendency for the male body and female body to be different. Acknowledged? Why is it in the movie industry that we have best actor and best actress when acting doesn't have to do with your body? It has to do with your mind, no? So in that case, there should just be best performer, best performance. Why is that separated between females and males? In all ways. See how subtly separative we are. We are overtly too. Everyone is racist in some sort of way. But even the sexism, when we support such awards, they have Miss Universe, Miss World. I've never seen Mr. Universe or Mr. World. Right? And if they do, it's very low key and it's just about being strong. Correct? And in Miss Universe and Miss World, you have various types of clothing, from very little to a whole lot. Why? Why focus so much on the body? We're lucky we have Atma, Bodha. What gender? So coming back to Infinity War, you have all of these heroes. Oh, shoot, I did it again. You have all of these characters who are fighting for a cause. If you and I want Brahman to win, it is going to take every strategy, every methodology. I have to know what I'm not. I have to know what I am. I have to know what I am in between. I have to know what is absolute, what is relative, what is an illusion. All of it. And that's what Acharya Shankara is saying. If I'm not feeling Brahman yet, I need to feel Brahman by these methodologies in a most comprehensive way. Because the ego is there. And this ego, you show up in front of the ego will already know and take all of your power away. Like Vali, no? That's why you have to be like Bhagwan Rama and go behind Vali. So he can't take your power. Vedante lakshyate advayam. Vedanta, the subject of Vedanta, is intensely straightforward. Antaha means inside, Veda means no. Know what's inside. What's inside, Advaya means, is you. It's not you and what's inside of you is separate. Advayam, there is oneness. The key here is this lakshate. Are you reflective enough? Are you subtle enough to feel this oneness? And I'll simplify. What is Bhagwan Rama's most famous brother's name? Lakshmana, correct? And people spell it with L-A-X. M-A-N. There's no X in any Indian language. Not Avadi, not Sanskrit. So then we spell L-A-K-S-H-M-A-N. Lakshmana. But the actual name given to him by Rishi Vashishta is Lachamana. Lachamana. And Lachamana means the one who indicates. If you see Sri Lakshmana, where is he seeing? Bhagwan Rama, correct? So by seeing Sri Lakshmana, you will be indicated or be guided to Bhagwan Rama. Here this word lakshate means when our mind is calm, quiet, still, we will come to experience how simple Vedanta is. When we were driving around Tampa today, I have an old school mountable GPS with a big stand and a big screen, and you have to punch the keys with your fist to get anything to work. And the passenger had an iPhone 10. And it says, why don't you just use this phone? Use Apple Maps, use Google Maps, use Waze. And I said, I like to see, the map here. I don't want to hold this and drive. And he looked at me and said, this is just inertia to change. And he's right. He's totally right. I have an inertia to change towards useless things. It would be much worse to have an inertia to change when it comes to knowing oneself, no? So I thought it about him, but I didn't say it. If you don't change to be more worldly, who cares? But not to change towards becoming deeper than the world. That's real tamas. Akhandanandam ekam yat. Yat, you again. Talking about you. The word ekam is brought up again. You are there in the beginning. You are there in the middle. You are there in the end. What is there? Ananda, or joy. And this is akhanda. Akhanda means unbroken. Have you ever experienced your non-existence? You haven't. Have you ever experienced consciousness changing? Like in the Matrix when Neo sees that black cat twice and says, deja vu, there's a glitch in the Matrix. Has that ever happened to you? There's a break in existence, a break in awareness. Akhanda. Existence awareness is the most fundamental. Everything is above that. What can break that? Unbroken joy is who you are. And any breakage that's happened, we're just not looking in the right place. We're being indicated, guided to look outside for joy. Acharya Shankara is saying, look inside. He says one more time, Tat Brahma. That is Brahman. The word Yat means you. The word Tat means Brahman. Yat and Tat are together. You are that Brahman. That Brahman is you. Iti avadharayet. Feel this. Be this. There's almost an urgency in the last 4 shlokas that Acharya Shankara is radiating. Same last quarter in shloka 54, 56, 54, 55, 56, 57. Urgency like moha mudgara. And we all studied. Here is your sutra. The method, comma, use every method. This sutra is the method, comma, use every method. That is the only way that one will be free. Oh.